First, I want to say thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, everybody out there, to get to know who I am as a person. So my name is Gerly Adrien. I'm a daughter of Haitian immigrants who came to the U.S. in the 1980s. I was born about nine years later, and so my parents have instilled this service and God and community in my spirit, and I've carried that throughout all my life. I grew up in Everett, which is why I call home and home to so many, and why I continue to fight and serve that community particularly. I went to Bentley University. I went to go work for one of the largest banks in New York for a few years, and then came back here because I wanted to come home and help people here in our city. And now I've been working in finance, so the last 8 years I've been a manager. I've been working in healthcare in Cambridge. I'm also a small business owner. I have an ice cream shop with my husband in Somerville, and have been doing my MBA for the last 3 years at Boston University. And so when you talk about who is Gerly Adrien, I always want people to see me as a person who loves God, who loves the community, and who loves to work really hard. So for me, the issues are still the same, right? So housing, education, the streets, transportation, crime, all similar varying issues that happen in our city, the district, and across Massachusetts. Last year when I ran for state representative, I lost by 168 votes, which was a big, hurtful moment for me, but it let me grow and got to see, the city and the district still wants new people to represent them. And this year, I wanted to get more involved on the local level.
Okay.
So I started attending the city council meetings. So they happen 2 times a month on Mondays at 6 p.m. So I would attend them, and there'd be issues that the 12 councilors would bring up. And I was so surprised at how much power the councilors had that were making decisions on everyday people's lives. And for me, I was like, wow, you have so much power in that seat. And there were so many matters, like for example, I talk about the whole pre-K pricing issue a lot, and the streets, Everett Square, who, as a developer or small businesses getting their licenses, I was shocked that city council had the right to approve those or reject those. And meeting after meeting, I would be so upset at the decision that they made, even when so many people would go up and speak. And they still just didn't go with what the people said. And I said, well, then what is the role of the counselor? It was so frustrating. I was texting my own counselor every week about an issue, and he would just do something else. And I said, I'm so tired of this. I'm going to say that if you're a city councilor, you serve the people first. You talk to the people, you understand what they want. And that's when I realized I want to change so much on the local level that when I get to, if I ever decide to run for state rep, I could say that at least on the city level, we have fixed a lot of issues that are impacting people every day.
Okay.
And that's what made me want to say, I'm going to run for city council at large.
Okay. If we focus on education, so what needs to be improved in Everett? I don't know, the school system, would you like to enlighten people? What is the issue in terms of education Everett is facing?
Yeah, so this year, the school system right now is going through, I call it a life-changing moment. We have had a superintendent, the same one for about 20 plus years, and this year he resigned. So we are in an opportunity where we can elect someone new to come in and transform the schools. Our schools right now are 70% people of color, so it's filled with Haitians, Latinos, and Asians, and in a time where it was never like that before. And so right now we have people on the search committee who are going to pick someone new to come in and do that, and I've been a part of that, and I've been seeing who they're going to pick and add an input to that, because I want someone to come in who cares and who's going to put the children first. I talk to a lot of students all the time, and they always tell me how there's a lack of access to just a guidance counselor, someone to help them apply for college, or just other opportunities for their lives. So then what happens is when they graduate, there's nothing for them. And that goes back and impacts the family because like when I grew up, I always had the dream that I was gonna come back and take care of my family. I was gonna graduate school, go get a really good job, and buy my mom and dad a house. That was my dream. And I'm noticing there's a lot of students from Everett, they don't have that, and they're not able to do that. And their parents have to take care of them, and then that's another financial burden. And so with the schools, literally, when you see the students, they're not inspired. The graduation rate is very low. Everett schools are not considered one of the best across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We're actually low. It's really surprising to see how low we are, especially when it comes to the test scores or even, like I said, the graduation rates. So for me, I think with the schools, we need somebody like a superintendent to come in, as well as when it comes to funding. I'm big about money because I feel like I understand the language of business, but that's what I wanted to study because money impacts everything. And with the schools, we're short funded by like $6 million, right? And so when you look at schools like Cambridge and Somerville, where they're able to, per student, fund about $18,000, Everett is at 9, 10. That's half. And Somerville and Cambridge is right down the street. It's not fair for those communities for their children to be able to have a better education where we're not able to have that, and we're literally neighborhood cities. For me, that's a crisis in itself. I always wonder if kids of color are always given less opportunities than other students, and I see it every single day within our school system. And so hopefully, on the city council level, what I see difference between Somerville and Cambridge, their city council, their mayors will actually fund schools. They'll say, hey, this is important to us. If our education system is broken, our kids are not learning, they're not growing, this hurts our city. Everett needs to step up and do the same thing. And so for me, like if I'm on the council, I'm going to make sure I fight and promote that first. How much money that's coming into the city, if it's $1 or if it's $2, we gotta help our schools, particularly our students.